and welcome to the Sunnydale Diaries podcast where I, Sean, along with my friend Melanie,
Hi.
watch and discuss every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And sometimes we interview people. Today we have with us Georgia from Scrap the Catwalk, who was a background actor on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We're happy to have you here, Georgia.
Thank you. I'm happy to be part of your podcast and share my stories because people just don't talk about what I'm about to talk about.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We found Georgia kind of by accident. We were driving around one Sunday, checking out some outdoor markets, and ran into Georgia, who was selling some things that she had made. We'll get into more of it later. And we picked up something for the Diorama contest.
The Diorama Derby.
Yes, one of the prizes. And we were just talking about like Buffy with a Buffy podcast, and then found out that Georgia was a background actor on Buffy.
Meant to be. Our meeting was in the stars.
Which is crazy because when you told me you had a podcast, a lot of people have podcasts, but they don't really talk about the show. They talk more about the mythology of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets so deep. I'm like,
yeah.
You
just did a whole intro about eggs.
Which
20 minutes on eggs.
Your podcast on eggs. Oh my God. That was the best. Because you got to remember, back in the 90s, we had to wait a whole week to go see the show.
Yeah.
So I was working all the time. I didn't get to see Buffy until the second season. And it was eggs. It was the first episode I ever saw. And I'm like, damn, this is good.
It brought you back, right?
I gotta give this a chance. Because being a background, it looked so corny and cheesy. And I'm like, this thing's gonna bomb. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad.
That was one of our questions when we were talking about it early on. Like, what did they think about this show as they were doing it? Kind of like Star Wars too, that they didn't think Star Wars was going to be popular. They thought it was going to be a bomb. So I wonder, during those early episodes, what they were thinking.
They thought it was going to be a bomb. In fact,
a one season thing.
They were treated like the stepchild of Warner Brothers. They were not even filming on Warner Brothers studio. They were filming way out there in Santa Monica in this lonely studio away from everybody. Oh my God, you guys froze. Is being recorded.
No. Okay, there you go. Okay, all right. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So the show wasn't filmed on the WB studios. They were filmed far, far away in a very secluded studio, which was very scary at night. In fact, when we got, back then I had the Thomas Guide. We didn't have GPS. So
yeah.
I had to go up. I mean, it was about an hour away from Los Angeles. So the drive was just insane. But you had to use the Thomas Guide. And I worked on on that lot more than anything. And in that studio, they had the bronze, the corridors of the school, they had the library and the cemetery. My scenes were always
that's all of Sunnydale. That's it.
I mean, they didn't have I never saw like the mother's house inside. It was probably there. I just never saw it. There was always I never been in the library. I saw it from afar, but I was a good extra. I didn't bring my phone. I mean, I'm sorry, my pager.
I would say there was no phones.
My pager. When I don't know. Do you want me to start off by the whole?
Yeah. So start from the beginning and tell us how you ever got into this.
So I graduated in 1991, and I was watching a movie called Encino Man.
Yes.
And I looked on the screen and I saw a classmate of mine, and I went, I want to do that. And that's exactly what I did. So I went on the internet, and my household had the computer AOL. We had it installed in 1990, 1989. My mother was a teacher, so we had all this upgraded system.
Cutting edge,
So we were rich,
Yeah.
So, but thanks to my mom, we had the internet early, and I went and I Googled, Yahoo'd
Yeah. Alta Vista.
Yeah, oh, there
There
you
she is.
go. It took forever to load, but Cinex Casting was the agency that you had to go, and you had to pay $20. You went, you took a picture, and they basically, you call a number, and then it will tell you looking for 18 and younger. Anybody looking 18 to look younger, So I looked under 18, even though I was hitting 27. Was it 27? Yeah, because I didn't start Buffy
Just
until I
like
was
everybody on that
96.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The 1990s. We started filming in 1996, and it didn't really get broadcast to 97, right? I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So I was working at Universal Studios, and I was working at Disneyland, and I was a performer. And then on my off days, I was going to dance class, and I was doing extra work for extra money. And
Uh-huh.
I made more money doing extra work because they fed us.
Oh.
So, so we would go after they would book us. I'm getting flashbacks. The pager, we would have to find a payphone
Yes.
to confirm
Sure.
that
Yeah.
we got the message,
Yeah.
and then we would get booked. And then they would give us the address and the time, which was usually like 5 a.m. And then we would head to the studio. So I would go to the studio. They would park us in one area, then they would van us in with these white vans onto the WB, stepchild lot. And they would feed us breakfast, and then they would look at our wardrobe. And then if you got to wear your wardrobe, you got paid an extra like $5 to $10. So I worked really hard to wear my own stuff. If you didn't, then you got sent to wardrobe, and they give you something.
Right.
And then we would stay in this huge like cafeteria hall, and we just wait to get called, and we would just get stuffed with donuts, pastries, orange juice. I mean, it's great if you have
Not
no
bad
home.
for you're like just out of school, poor. That's a good arrangement.
So then we would be that first season that I was on. I'm in every episode. You just only see me so often. And honestly, you guys, it wasn't until YouTube really happened, where I saw myself. I didn't
We're
know.
gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back and
Look
look
for
now.
you.
Where should we go look?
I'm in every and once in a while I'll find myself. I'm like, oh, my ex-husband didn't believe that I did 90210. I'm talking to him, and I went, there I am. There was an episode, and I was standing right there. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So things like that
Make this
happen.
a drinking game.
See how many times you can spot
Right?
Georgia.
Yeah. Anytime you spot Georgia, take a drink.
And now to this day, I still, oh my God, there I am. Oh my God, there I am.
That's so funny.
But it wasn't until Teacher's Pet where you could see me all like every episode.
Okay.
So I was one of those extras who was booked all the time on Buffy, and I was booked all the time on Clueless on the Paramount Studios. So because I looked 18 to look younger, I didn't look Mexican, I didn't look Asian. You couldn't figure out what I was. I kind of like blended, and that's what the producers would tell me. Yeah, that's what I was young enough looking, and they couldn't tell what nationality I was, so they could put me at anything.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm Hawaiian, I'm Asian, but I'm Mexican.
So you definitely were in season 1 then, since you mentioned Teacher's Pet. What other seasons were you doing?
So I'm trying to remember. The one where she came back, where she was acting like such a, I forget what episode that was.
I think the first episode of the second season, when she was bad.
Yes, that one.
Okay, yeah.
That one. I was on that one a lot. But all the ways from, when you asked me about Sid, I never saw him in person, but I was in the audience. Like,
you were?
I was in that auditorium that was in Torrance High School. So the auditorium scenes were filmed on the high school lot. And it's crazy because I will see myself walking and like, oh my God, there I am, like there I am again. So it's kind of cool, I'm forever young,
Yeah, immortalized. So we started talking about your typical day. So you get there super early. Yeah. And then how late are you there?
We were there, let's say 5 a.m. We would be there until almost like 9 o'clock.
Man.
We would
Yeah.
get fed lunch and dinner. And we would get these vouchers and they would tell us, you know, you're going to be here till 4, but plan on being here later. The days on the set were like 16-hour days. That first season was very long and it was on property. And it was cool though, because the actor that played Xander, Nicholas,
Mhm.
he was very social, and so was the man who played Spike.
Mhm.
Was it James Masterson?
Marsters, yeah.
Yeah, he he was we were sitting down and he goes he was talking about his eye thing. He talks about it
Yeah.
now in the cons, which I think is cool. But he was telling us that he just got into a bar fight from New York. And when they flew him in, he had this scar, so they just put it in. And even after it healed, they just kept it.
They had to keep, oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
huh.
So, and apparently he was only supposed to be a short-term character, but because he was such a fan favorite, they brought him back. And
Mhm.
you know, hearing all these stories now with Joss Whedon, how he didn't really even want him. He wasn't part of the storyline.
Uh,
That was crazy. I didn't know this, but this was when we first met him. You know, he was so young and he's so
yeah.
Yeah.
sweet. And
Yeah.
I never saw the vampires with their makeup on.
Mm.
So in front of the bronze, there was our eating area.
Oh, yeah.
So we would eat there. Most of the the other actors, like the actresses and like Willow and the Buffy, they would eat more inside the building. I mean, it was just such a dreary place. It really was. It was, oh, like honestly, I don't even remember them having trailers. I'm sure they did, but
Mm.
it was just such a dreary. I mean, I was shocked that Sarah Michelle Gellar was even doing this. I mean, she's an
Yeah.
Emmy award-winning actress.
Yeah.
So,
Did you
but
see a difference in that kind of stuff between seasons once they realized after season 1 that it was going to
oh yeah,
continue on and it was popular?
oh
Like
yeah, I could.
things
There,
notched up in quality after that?
oh, the quality of the show just got even
Yeah.
better. But there was starting, you would start to see temper tantrums. The
Oh.
one that I remember was we were walking, what was it? We were actually at the high school and we were going through the stairs. We had to walk as quiet as possible. We couldn't make any noise. And so I guess Sarah Michelle Gellar was having a bad day. She was at the locker room with the character Willow, and she's like, that's as good as it's gonna get. And then she walked off. And we're
Oh.
just like, what happened?
Oh.
Yeah. And then one time we were in the bronze, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was Joss Whedon or the director of that day, because they didn't have the same directors all the time. They would have
Mhm.
different directors. But I wasn't familiar with Joss Whedon back then. I didn't know who he was,
Yeah.
you know, so I couldn't, so I was like trying to remember, and I remember, oh yeah, okay, now I vaguely starting to remember. But someone got really angry at how the way we were all dressed. What is this, a 70s concert? Why is everybody dressed like they're in the 70s? Take these people off and go change.
Okay, that must be when they were dressing Xander in his like porn
Brown,
star.
yeah, and like all the
yeah,
brown,
all the-
green, orange.
Yeah.
Did you notice that, right? He was always
Oh,
in,
yeah.
Yes.
I was
We
like,
talked about it.
Yes, we talked about it.
he's in these button ups because they all have a theme with each other. Like
Yeah.
Willow would have like something like a little picture on her little, you know,
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
And Xander would have the button up all the time. You're right. It was very disco. And they
Yeah.
were really mad because they weren't trying to make a groundbreaking wardrobe with us. We
Uh-huh.
just had to look like teenagers. And the 90s kids, that's the way we looked.
Yeah.
You know, the long skirts, the big chunky shoes.
So how choreographed was it for you as a background actor? Like, okay, so you're gonna be walking down the hallway and you have to go from point A to point B,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
then, but do they give you like, okay, but stick to this side of the hallway, or how much direction do you get as a background actor?
No, you have a producer in the back.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, back to one. Okay.
Yeah, and then you got to do the same thing again, right?
You
Yeah.
kind of know where you're gonna go because there's
Yeah.
really no rehearsal. You just do it.
Yeah.
No, but the PA would be like,
What about like when it looks like you're having a conversation with like the person next to you? Are you actually speaking, or are you just like making up nonsense words to say?
oh,
Are you
we're
not
just
actually
laughing.
talking?
I remember we're like,
So not really saying anything.
Yeah, we wouldn't even whisper. We would just be
Yeah,
like,
mouthing it.
we'll be like,
Huh. I always wondered
yeah, that's all we're doing. We're not even having conversation.
that.
We're just, as long as our facials were big and we were
Yeah.
nodding and moving our bodies a lot, that was a true extra.
Okay.
Because if you look, I honestly cannot not look at a movie without looking at the extras. I am constantly watching the same thing over and over again because I zoom right into what they're doing, what they're wearing.
So I find myself doing that now too,
Yes.
especially on this show.
Mhm.
I mean, I think one of your episodes you pointed out, like Jonathan in the background.
I love Jonathan,
You kept seeing him.
but now I'll look for you.
The character, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if you got to that episode yet. You haven't watched Passions yet, right?
No, we're 2 weeks away.
Okay, so that means you haven't gotten to the episode I'm talking about.
All right.
But there's
Okay.
this character who is also on Clueless. Where is he? I'm surprised.
Did you watch that?
Not the
Clueless?
show, no.
You guys gotta watch that show. I think
Yeah?
you're gonna kick out
All
of
right.
it. Okay, his name is Jonathan Levinson. His name is Danny Strong on the show.
Oh yeah,
He's there
that's the
since-
Jonathan we were talking about.
Okay,
Who's Danny
yeah,
Strong?
he's
Yeah.
on
Oh,
Gilmore
yeah, the son.
Girls.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
on
okay.
Gilmore.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But he
he's pro.
always looked young. He always
Yeah.
looked young. I don't know how old he was when he did the show,
Man,
but
you and I could have made some big money.
Yeah, because I looked
We missed
like
our
15
callings.
until
I
was like
know, right?
28.
Yeah.
well, with our vouchers, I was trying to remember. I made an average of like $500 a week.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's almost what 1,000 equivalent to today's money. So
When
I
you're
was
just
making-
starting out too, you make your money go far.
Yeah.
If people who want to be an actor or actress, extra work, do the extra work because that's where, they're long hours, and it's not even about making connections. It's really you work with these people. I worked with the same group for almost 2 years,
Mhm.
and by the third year, think about 1998 came around. That's when I got a job on a cruise ship, and then
Ah.
I went away I went and sailed around the Caribbean for 2 years. And that's how I
Wow,
ended up
what
in
a life
Florida.
you've had. We need to interview you again about that.
Cruise
On the
ship
next
life.
podcast.
Yeah, our cruising
Our
podcast.
cruising podcast.
Cruise ship life. No, but honestly, I never, all those stories about like the how people got to be famous and what do they call it? The Illuminati. And
Oh yeah.
no, honestly, in the 90s, that wasn't happening. Okay.
Oh,
There was no, when I hear it now, I'm like, I just never saw it. I went to Hollywood parties, never saw it, unless I just wasn't the victim to get picked. I mean, but I was around a lot of parties and never did I turn in we didn't have phones, my pager.
Right.
But the worst thing that did happen to me on the set was I did finally buy a phone. It was like a $600 phone.
Gigantic.
oh yeah. Was it one of these or was it a?
No, it was a foldie. And the day that I got it, I was on Buffy, and the day that I left, someone stole it.
Oh, yeah.
I had it for no more than 24 hours, and I tried, broke my heart, $600, and I put my hard-earned money because I was tired of getting my pager and running to the payphone.
Right.
So, but every time you called, they charge you. So my phone was not cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man, yeah, back in the day.
and then I had to buy another phone, and I didn't do that. I just stuck with the pager.
Were you able to take anything like from the set? Do you have any souvenirs from your time?
None. And I
Nothing.
regret every moment of it. I was a good girl. I never took
Do you think other
pictures.
people did that?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. I took the food. I took the donuts and
yeah.
I would bring a duffel bag and I'd put all the food that they didn't eat and I would
You
take
didn't take
that.
like a teacup from the bronze.
A random steak.
A random. Yeah.
Nothing. I wish, I look back and I didn't even bring a camera. The disposable ones.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of getting fired or blackballed. I just didn't do it. No one else did that I knew of either. I don't even know how they do it now, honestly, because you can't live without your phone.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I got pictures from when I worked at Disneyland that you're not gonna, it's like, woo, because they would, when I worked at Disney, we were allowed to bring our camera once every so often as picture day. And we took pictures, and we weren't allowed not to take without our stuff, our characters' outfits, but we all have some.
Like behind the scenes photos. That's cool.
Yeah, we were
I would
skates,
do
stuff that.
Yeah. Oh,
I still have, and I'm like, I couldn't do that.
No,
Like,
it's a different time.
Oh yeah, there's no way that I would show those pictures now. And they're all print, they're print or
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Buffy, and none whatsoever. And like I said, I regret every minute of it.
Out of all the episodes that you were in, which one was your favorite to be in?
Oh gosh. Though I can't say there was a favorite, because we just all worked so hard and so long on those days. They were just so tiring. Standing on the bronze in the heat, you just stand there and you wait and you wait. In fact, I wanted to show you this one. And I know you saw this episode when Angel and Buffy are kissing, and then like the crucifix brands him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So underneath them, there was a man with a match, lighting a match. So
smoke up.
and you can barely see it. To this day, I still laugh about it. I'm like, you can barely see the smoke. But there's a man.
That had to be a season 1. Was that a season 1 effect?
It was a season 1. Yeah,
it was a season 1 budget right there.
Yeah, and all the bands that play are local bands from the neighborhood. So they would invite these members to come in and.
Yeah, we have talked about the bands a little bit.
The music's great. I have the soundtrack.
Ocean.
I love the soundtrack. I have the Buffy soundtrack, and I used to listen to it all the time.
Do you have the Buffy soundtrack?
I have the digital version.
Oh.
Come on.
I have it on the CD.
No, I don't have it. No. What about that? Not even like ones that you were in, but from every episode that we've done so far. So we're up to Phases was the last one that we did. What is your favorite episode out of all of season 1? And
honestly, I really enjoyed Eggs, because that was the one that turned me into a Buffy fan, and it made me laugh when I was listening to your podcast. I'm like, that's the one that went like, this is good.
I'm in.
I was in, and I was about the eggs. I wasn't in the mining part, but I was in there somewhere. But I was there that week, because you film Monday through Friday, and you're there from 5 a.m. until they let you go, which is usually 9. That first year, first season, it was long hours, good money, long hours. It wasn't until the second season.
Were you in the Gothic club, the wannabe vampires?
No, I wasn't.
No.
In fact,
that would have been good.
They told us that if we were a vampire and we got killed, we were never allowed back on the set.
Oh, so you didn't want that.
So I didn't want to be a vampire. They always would ask us. I'm like, no, I don't want.
All right. And then, what about the harvest? Were you in the harvest in the bronze when everybody's just standing around silently watching it happen?
Watching Luke treat everyone.
I think I'm there. I don't remember, but anything that had to do with the bronze, I was there. So I keep trying to look for myself.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? I know I'm here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back.
Because sometimes they don't, they'll put us in a holding room and they'll call us like, I need you. I mean, it was like a beauty pageant. Okay, you. And you stand there going, me, take me. And sometimes you be there all day and they don't even use you.
Do you ever know when you're doing one of those scenes, like you're at the bronze, so it's a big group thing?
Yes.
And then do you know when the camera is on you? If the camera is on you, do they tell you that? The camera's going to be on you for this shot.
Oh, no, they don't tell you.
No.
They don't tell you. You just assume.
Look appalled.
Just assume that you're going to be on screen.
Yeah.
There are scenes that I know I'm there, but the screen has cut me off.
Oh.
So there's moments like that. I'm like, oh. I was really into it. I was giving emotion.
Yeah.
I was really working it.
When you're dancing at the bronze, like, was there actual music playing, or no? I feel you're gonna say no.
That's acting.
Everyone who's dancing, there's no music. Everyone's like,
yeah.
So every time I see Buffy dance and stuff, she's doing it in silence.
Or Cordelia, when Cordelia is like, I love this song.
Oh yeah, there's nothing playing.
No.
There's
That
nothing
makes a lot
playing.
of sense now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that make me laugh because everything has to be really, really quiet. And then when the stunt doubles are there, the ones that did Buffy, shows are like an older lady, but you could see the change, Did you
Yeah.
notice that? Yeah.
Oh,
So
the stunt
yeah,
doubles?
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yes, yes,
especially that
yes,
first season.
yes.
So yeah.
I imagine though the way it was shot now when they broadcast it and it's in HD, it makes it more
Yes. Yeah.
more
More visible.
obvious, right? I think we've talked about that.
Mhm.
So it's easier to tell.
I think the whole first season, no one knew what was supposed to happen to it. Again, I didn't even get a chance to sit down and watch it until it was on TV.
Yeah.
Now, in the 2000s, when it started to get more, I mean, I have all the DVDs, but I just never really saw myself until I started watching them on YouTube randomly. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, there I am, there I am. And then now that they go to the like the megacons and all those back in, like, I guess megacon out here when it started, like when I started going, like 2005 to 2011, there was a
Yeah.
man who sold just Buffy stuff. And
Oh
I would
wow.
go straight to him. And
Mhm.
after that, I just never saw him again. But I feel like there's like a new group of people coming up because I always make Buffy stuff and it
Yeah.
always sells.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you had this. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
this shirt at a horror convention. It was so random. I was like, I'm buying
Yeah.
that. Take my money.
What is that? There's one around here that's like that. This is it Spooky Nation? Is that what it is?
Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire.
That's one
Spooky
of the
Empire.
fairgrounds, right?
I don't know, but I know
No,
that
Spooky
I know
Empire is
Spooky.
this coming May 18th and 19th, and they are at the Hyatt off International in
Oh, okay.
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay.
In Orlando, yeah.
Oh,
And then
I
Spookala just happened, and they are at the fairground.
Okay.
yeah, I imagine those
Tampa.
kind of things would be good for Buffy fans.
Me too. I think so. Like I said, I always sell when I make Buffy stuff. It always sells.
Yeah.
People are always willing to just take it.
So tell us about what you're doing now. You mentioned that you're making things.
Yeah.
What are you up to now?
So I'm an upcycle, a fashion designer, and I basically make things out of once loved items into sustainable, affordable pieces, which are bags, dresses, crop top hoodies. I'm starting to go into pet wear. I'm actually doing cat
Oh.
extravaganza,
Oh.
May 18th and the 19th. I'm doing my first cat con.
A cat con?
I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah, it's in
For everyone out
Tampa.
there.
Yeah, and my jackets that I've been making for the cats, the dog lovers love them, and that's what I've been, basically making. And I take my shop on the road, and I do my best to sell it. I go out once a month now instead of every weekend because it's just, it's
A
exhausting.
lot.
It's a lot. So I'm trying to work the online thing. I do have a little podcast that I haven't picked up in the last 7 months. I basically talk about the vendor experience.
Mm.
I don't talk about like the negative or the positive. I just talk about the show as me as a vendor, how I find them, what to expect. I do have some dramatic ones where I almost got arrested when I got banned from a show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
So yeah, those are out there. I don't have a lot of viewers, so no one has come after me yet.
Well, what's the name of your podcast?
It's called The Vendor Experience. It's under Scrap the Catwalk, and you see it on my
Okay.
YouTube. It's
Okay.
all voice. I haven't had the bravery to put my face up.
Oh,
I'm slowly getting there. But I think in 2 years I'm gonna head back to California, and my goal is to go back into acting, and I will start out as an extra again, and I will still work on my fashion career out in LA, but it's gonna take about 2 years because that's when my son graduates high school.
oh,
So I'm
all
stuck
right.
in Florida for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
is he a Buffy fan?
He likes watching it, but he's not much of a talker.
Okay.
I don't know. Actually,
What
I
does he
never
think
asked
about
him.
you being on that show?
Nothing. They just like, oh,
Nothing.
that's cool, mom.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But all the other shows that I see myself, I mean, you guys, I was on a 90210 episode. 90210 when they were in the beach scene. I was on this show called Step by Step, I think it was.
Step
Oh
by
my
Step
God.
with the girl from My Two Dads.
Yes,
Stacy.
yes.
Yeah.
I was
Teen-
I was I was on an episode of Seinfeld, and it was
Oh.
the chicken episode with the check. You could see me walking in the back. It's their chicken episode. I still
Okay.
see my coat. The one that the Jensen Ankins, the one from
Jensen Ackles?
Supernatural. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a series when he first came out to LA, and he was talking to us, telling us that, you know, this is his first gig. It was called The Substitute. He
Okay.
basically just got out of a bus,
Yeah.
and got that part. And this man is like the
Wow.
luckiest kid. And then he got into the soap operas, and then, you know, here he is today. But that kid
Yeah.
basically rolled out of a bus, and his good looks and charm, you know. And I met him when he was first starting. And then I did what did they call the sisters, the twins? The I was on a
Sister,
Moesha.
sister.
Yeah, sister, Moesha. In fact, I saw Moesha when they were filming her Cinderella movie on
Oh, yeah.
the MGM lot. I think it was, yeah, back then it was the gold with the lion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that studio, Myers
Okay.
Gold. I always
Metro
forget.
Goldwyn Mayer.
There you go.
It's where they filmed the Wizard of Oz. And in
Yeah.
fact, we all went to the Wizard of Oz studio just to,
Oh, cool.
you know, I was in there, but you know, it wasn't haunted or anything. But but working at Universal Studios now, that place is haunted, like
Really?
extra haunted. In fact, I'm not surprised that they really like vamped up the spiritual nature out there when they tore down the Opera House. If you guys want to look that up, it's by
Okay.
it's on the second level, and it was near the what do you call those, Voltrons? Transformers.
Transformers.
Yeah.
The Transformers. Next to it was the Opera Hall, and there was a spirit that walked around there, and they tore that building down. So I was always curious to
Oh.
know what had happened. But
What
when
happened? Yeah.
but when I used to work there, even in when I went back in 2014, I was working as a costume specialist for the characters, and we were in the little, you know, where we keep all the costumes, and we were about to close up, and I was with some one of my coworkers, and we kept hearing something in the back, and then I was like, oh, his name was John. I go, John, something's back there. And so he goes out there. And then I go, John. And then I swear somebody said something to me. I felt a wisp of wind. And then John came out of nowhere. And I'm like, did you not feel that? Let's go. Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Something said something to
Wow.
me. And I felt the wind. And then he came out of the darkness. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Let's
Yeah.
go. So that whole Universal lot is all haunted, all of it.
Wow.
You know, that from the spectrums to what they call spectrums girls or whatever, the headless guy who walks up the
Specters.
hill, specters, yeah.
Specters.
Before Halloween Horror Nights started, it was what it is today. They
Yeah.
had it back in the 80s, and they actually shut it down because the tram ran over a scare actor. They weren't called scare actors back then. Yeah, and cut
No.
his head off.
What?
Yes. In fact,
Gosh.
and that's why they stopped it for so long. And then they brought it back. And
Oh my gosh.
because I worked I didn't work the original, but I worked the one in the 90s. And everyone was always getting hurt. Like people would bring like wires and poke the character's eyes. I mean, people
Oh
would
my
get
gosh.
hit. It was horrible. I mean, I know
Yeah.
a friend who is in, you know, it's just crazy. It was just so not safe. So, but that was like in the 90s. Now it's like I worked at the Universal Studios in Florida, very safe.
Yeah.
I mean, once in a
everything's
while
so
someone gets hit, but
pasteurized and
it's very safe now.
sterilized here.
I wonder do they drink here at Universal? I wonder,
Oh yeah.
because in
Oh yeah.
California they wouldn't allow you to drink. Yeah, I
Oh.
think that's what it was.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. I remember at one point there was no alcohol involved.
Oh yeah. No.
So
So
yeah,
I
that's
know, oh, sorry.
no. I was going to tell you about the ghost at Paramount.
Yeah, go
Tell
for
us.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Paramount Studios, there was these big old like studios. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw a movie called Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
offices when you walk through the back, and there's these offices that are still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Sunset Boulevard scenery with all the offices, and they were still functional. And
Okay.
so, but if you keep walking to the front, mind you, everyone was tiny and skinny back in the
Yeah.
early days.
Yeah.
So all these like corridors are really small. But we would there's a scene where actually it's in Clueless on the TV show. We had to go into it was like the front of Paramount by the gate. But if you
Okay.
go in there, all of us saw it. There was like we saw these shadows up on the staircase area, and we're just like, and it was so cold. I'll never forget it. And so every time the PA would want us to go in there to come out, I'd be like, I'm not going in there. It's too scary. And I wasn't the only one.
Mhm.
But over being there at night, it was just nuh-uh, mm-mm. That Paramount Studios is
Creepy.
wicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
even the costume, I actually went into the costume like room, and every piece of costume is labeled,
Yeah.
and it doesn't tell you where it was like it was used for, but everything that you see now, like watch TV, they wear the same thing over from other shows,
Hmm.
like even from Gilmore Girls to watch Back to the Future. You see normal TV shows wearing what Back to the Future wore, because they
Hmm.
take all those costumes, they label it, and they put them in this place,
Hmm.
and it's so cool. It's like, oh my God, I don't even
I
know how
guess.
I ended up in that room, to tell you the truth. I think I went for like costuming for something, like they were fitting me for something, and it's incredible. I'm so glad I was able to see something like that. But that's what wanted me to get into costume
Yeah.
design.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not so much costume design. I want to be more streetwear. Costume is hard.
Yeah.
I know you've listened to a couple of episodes of the Sunnydale Diaries, our podcast. Do you have any feedback for us?
I know. Just keep on going, because Melanie, you're cracking me up. Because I'm on your side here. I'm almost like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. He knows, he's feeling me. I feel like, okay, yeah, he's there. And then you pop in, and I'm like, she just devastated me. She's right. I never thought about it that way.
I know.
Like
That's what I tell Sean. Maybe I'm bringing him over to my side a little bit.
no,
It's like,
no.
these are early seasons.
These
Tiny
are early
bits.
seasons. Yeah, wait till you.
That's what I
It
keep
gets
telling her. Just wait. Just you wait.
it gets deep. It
It
gets
gets deep.
really.
All right.
Bring some tissue. There's
Oh
some
man.
good. There are some good episodes. The one that I do wish I was in was their graduation. You're not there
Mm.
yet, but oh boy, everybody was like talking about it. I'm like, where was I? Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can't imagine why you wouldn't be in that one.
I think I was on a
That's a nice
ship.
big group. Oh, you're on a ship somewhere? Oh
I was
well.
in the Caribbean.
That's not
I
bad.
was so sad. I'm like, oh, I wanted to be in there. I
Uh,
want to be in the graduation episode. Ooh. So that's the only thing I regret about not staying as an extra. But it was a
so
lot of fun. There are people who do this as a career choice. I have met
yeah.
I have met older women. Let's see, in the 90s, they were like, let's say 70s, and I was 27. They told me stuff about old Hollywood that was like, wow, you should write a book. How the
Yeah.
directors would come in suits, and
Yeah.
how hats, and now they come in sweatpants.
Yeah.
How you can't tell the directors apart.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think my most memorable meeting with the director was um, Henry Winkler. He was
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
the phones. He gave us the best advice. We were all standing around craft services. He's like, to be a good actor, believe everything you say. That is the key. And I went, ooh, good.
Yeah. Was
And
he,
he
did
said
he
it
direct
to us.
you? Did
He
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 direct you
directed.
on Buffy?
No, he directed a scene from Clueless.
Oh, all right.
The lady from Growing Pains, the mom did an episode. Henry Winkler did an episode. The guy who played Popsy in Happy Days did an episode.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people did different. It was just like and it was on for like what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a quirky show.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
So
I
are
got
all these
it.
WB that you were doing?
Mhm.
A lot of
No,
WB.
the Paramount wasn't. I don't know what that was on, but watch it. It is so bad.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is so bad. But I'm all over the place.
Okay. Okay.
And I have the same black hair. I just have bangs. That's the only difference.
Okay.
We're gonna have to grab some
Screenshots,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll post
Oh
them
my
on
god.
For socials.
But the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, again, I wish I did more seasons, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I wish I had more proof, but as long as I keep watching them on the video, I'll always
find
find
it.
You'll
myself.
know. So, but they're doing now. What's the thing they're doing now that some of the characters are recording?
Oh, Slayers.
Slayers.
Yeah, the audio series.
So maybe they'll eventually move that into something, like make it into a, you know how like they do Mean Girls was the movie, then it was a musical, then the movie of the musicals.
Right.
Maybe they'll do like a show based off of Slayers.
I'd watch
Because
it.
I heard that they want to do a reboot of Buffy. For years, I've heard this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just can't see it because back then we didn't have cell phones. We
Mhm.
had the pagers, but there was the fact that we were so isolated made the characters so vulnerable the way they are.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's probably a way. I just can't see them. I don't know. It would just, I don't know. But that's
Yeah,
just me. I just can't see it.
Research would be a lot easier.
That is true.
You wouldn't
yes.
have to go into the musty books
Yeah.
or
Or
the vid library
or dial up
or
Yeah.
internet.
How would Jenny send the globals?
They
She would just have Zoom. She would just have Zoom calls with her other techno
right?
pagans.
if
Yeah.
they did not pick the right Buffy, Willow, and Xander, even the Cordelia, their show will fail. It will just fail. These characters are so likable. And that's what I think makes the show. The characters are very likable, and it's so hard to find that. Like when they try to reboot Charm, the characters aren't likable. I couldn't relate, but again, I'm a lot older now. But
Mhm.
but it is what it is. They're gonna try to make money somewhere.
Georgia, if people want to find you online, how could they do that?
Oh, okay. So you can go to Scrap the Catwalk. That is my handle name for Instagram, and it will take you to all my links. So if you do the handle at Scrap the Catwalk, all one word, it'll take you straight to my Instagram, and my Instagram will have the link, and it'll take you straight into my websites and all my upcoming shows. I just opened an Etsy store with a guest artist from Ryan from DOA. We're starting to play around with our designs on mugs and candles, just so we could get out of the hot summer.
Yes, agree. Yes.
So we're going to play around with Etsy a little bit and see how far it goes. If not, then we'll just take it off and go into a Shopify. But in the meantime, you can find all the links at the Scrap the Catwalk. Other than that, my next show is Cat Extravaganza in Tampa. It is May 18th and 19th. It's a $25 ticket. You can use Scrap 10 for the ticket coupon. They also will be in St. Pete at the end of summer. But my weekend also has Spooky Empire. So Cat lovers, horror lovers, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right.
You want to show what we're giving away as a prize?
So yeah, we just want to show people the first prize that we got was from you for our Diorama Derby, and it is the biggest part of our prize giveaway, and we're very excited about it. And I'm going to show it on camera right now. This is an awesome bag that we bought
From Georgia.
that she made, upcycled. Let me see. I got to get it right.
Oh, yes. In every generation.
Oh, it's beautiful corduroy material.
So it's made out of a curtain.
It's made out of a curtain,
Mhm.
and then it's giant, roomy. I think you told us it's for carrying.
So if you wanted to
Record?
carry 10 vinyl albums, 12-inch, it would hold up to 10, holds up to
Yes.
50 pounds, and it is sustainable to be washed.
Yep,
So
it's
you
great.
find-
It's got a nice adjustable strap.
The hardware is pretty sturdy. Yeah.
Yep.
I was-
It's very
Um,
soft.
Thank you. Yeah, the curtain
it.
I was actually going to use to make a Renaissance dress, but never got
Oh.
to it. So I started tearing up all the material.
So yeah,
And
so
then-
I got a couple other things that I'm gonna put in here. And that's our price.
Yay.
So be sure to enter. You have until the end of May.
One of a kind.
Georgia, are you gonna make a diorama?
I'm trying, but you said don't do the episodes
Oh.
that you haven't done. And I'm like,
Well,
And I'm
as
like,
long as it's in season 2,
Mhm.
1 or 2. So even if
Right.
we haven't, even if
I
we
could still
haven't,
do the egg.
yeah. If you want to do bad eggs, go for bad eggs.
Trust me, I've been playing with it in my brain, like, oh,
All right.
I know what I'm gonna do. Because the first thought, I was like, I can't do that one because it hasn't happened yet.
No spoilers.
As long as, even if we haven't put it out yet, as long as it's within season 2, because we should be done recording season 2 by the end of May, it's okay. Just nothing beyond season 2.
Okay. So I just can't wait till Spike Fully comes back. Oh, he's so fun
Until
to
he's
watch.
out of that wheelchair.
don't know.
Until his
His scar.
scar heals.
He's such
Right.
he's such a character. I love it. He
Yeah.
really, that's his accent though. He talks really.
That's his real
normal.
accent.
No, that's not his real accent. He talks.
Oh.
He talks like normal. Like that's a fake accent he uses in the Buffy.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he not
Oh.
British?
He's not.
No,
He's not British?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
It's one of the better accents.
it's a pretty good accent then.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a very successful actor. Like he does a lot of
Yeah.
stage, does a lot of Shakespeare.
Yeah. Well, with that accent, yeah.
Surprise, good actor.
I Wow. Well, thank you so much, Georgia. We really appreciate your time. We're so glad we met you.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. I was so excited. And
Yeah.
maybe one day we could go to California and do like, this is where Buffy was filmed.
I would love that
Another
for
location.
sure.
Woo!
Yeah, and we could say we knew you when.
Yes. Oh,
You
we all
go
gotta
and
go to
you-
LA.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Well, thank you so much, you two.
Right.
And I will keep watching your podcast.
Please do.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Georgia.
Bye, Georgia.
Bye.